Jay, you put out a video the other day about Joe Biden signing into law this new housing bill that's going to essentially, assign a higher mortgage rate fee to those individuals with the higher credit score. You've been getting some comments on that, and some people believe that they are being punished for having a higher credit score. What do you say to that?
I think that they are. I totally agree. But they're not being punished for having a high credit score. They're being punished because the credit system in the United States sucks. And that's just a fact. At the end of the day, it's like this. When you're in a space where, you're preventing people from having a home due to these horrible, ways that they run the credit system here, that's what's happening. And so Joe Biden is trying something. I can't say it's the best idea, but I think it's an idea to try. It's sort of like, Democratic Party has done a lot of that. They want to tax the people who make the most money. They want to, charge. Now they're doing something with the houses. It's funny. They didn't say that they was going to give you a higher tax, a higher payment on your car, a higher interest rate on anything else but the houses, because that's where the problem is. It don't matter what type of credit you got. People are not being denied getting cars. They might get denied for a car, a certain kind of car. But if you got income, which most of these people are trying to get houses, that's the first thing people are doing. People are not trying to get houses without any income. So they're probably trying to make sure they have a certain amount of income before they go get a house. So if you got income and either a down payment or credit, you can walk away with a car. You might not walk away with the car of your dreams, but you can walk away with a car, no matter if you have a 400, 300, 500 credit score. But it's funny that that's not the same way with a house. And it's more important that a person have a place to live than a car to drive. And so that's what I'm saying. It's so screwed up in that space. Even with rentals, they'll probably turn you away from having a rental property. But again, they'll give you a vehicle. They'll give you a cell phone. They'll just charge you a whole bunch of money to get it. Those are utilitarian scenarios that help make them money, and they don't, unless you opt in with your rentals. They're not doing anything with your credit, with your cell phone, unless something goes wrong. Everybody get approved for lights, unless you owe a bill. But if you don't owe a bill with them, everybody get approved for lights. And they pay that. People been paying their lights, been living in a certain place for 10 years, 20 years, 8 years, 5 years. And nobody documents that stuff to make sure that they're showing the real measure of a person. The things around the house, anything around the house should be documented if you're buying a house. Not just what you did with something that don't have anything to do with buying a house. The credit education to the average person, again, that's not in schools. Nobody teaching people how to handle this credit garbage in schools. They're not teaching people financial literacy, period. Certain people are trying to start doing it in certain schools, and they're getting pushed back from it. So at the end of the day, you are being punished, and it's not right. But it is something to try to get more people into a house, which in this country is somewhat of a gateway to wealth long term. So if you have other ideas, which I'm sure 1,000 other people have other ideas, we need to do our due diligence and find a way to get it to the president or whoever else. But I do think it's something, because I think it's just horrible that you can't get the same person that will be denied from a house can walk to a car dealership and walk away with a car. They can do that. And so answer that question. They ain't never said, oh, well, I'm being punished because they're raising up my car payment rate because the person with crappy credit can get their, old knocked around car with 21% interest on it. They're doing that for the houses because they're preventing people from getting houses. I said in another video, when I bought my house as a full-time entrepreneur, I went through hell. I'm a 6-figure earner, and I still went through hell. I had decent credit. I still went through hell. I had everything I could have had, but because I didn't fit the criteria, I got the house, but I didn't just have a check stub for them and say, hey, here's this. I showed them all the taxes returns. I showed everything. They asked me for my degree. They asked me to go back, and show them contracts for 10 years of me being a consultant. they make it hard for you to get a house. When you look a certain way, or you come from a certain situation, or you don't have this crazy credit score that is already set up wrong and set up for people to fail anyway, personal credit wise. Why? Because it's a game. Like I said, once I found out that when I took something off my credit that I paid off and I got a negative ding for it, that's a problem. They should be throwing a party every time you pay off a bill and you being responsible. They should be throwing a party for you. But that's not how credit works. If you use too much of the credit card, you get a ding because they say utilization. Not because you paid your bill on time. You can go 6 years without missing a payment. But your utilization is too high. That works for people that have money and understand the game. But nobody tells you that. So this is why we're being punished. Because I say we because I don't have bad credit. So which means that I'm in that too. But I know it's the vast majority, and I come from a space where it's individuals I watched all my life that pay their bills on time. And they should be given a house, let alone have to go through anything to try to get one. They never lost their house. I've seen people die as renters and been in those houses. You wouldn't even know they didn't own it until they passed away. Because they've been there and they took care of it like that. And they didn't have a chance to own a house because of the laws and because of the way things are set up. And so, yes, we're being punished, but I'm willing to take the small punishment to help my fellow man get to another place.